On a thrilling night inside the Combat Global Cage, two fights marked the beginning of Jawy Méndez's journey in professional mixed martial arts, facing Johan Rodriguez in his debut, and later Rafael Monterola. The influencer proved it beyond the spotlight. He possesses heart, grit, and a genuine desire to grow as a martial artist. From the opening seconds of his debut against Rodriguez, the pace was electric. Rodriguez, a composed and experienced Colombian fighter, took center control with calm precision. Jawy came out full of adrenaline, showing energy and aggression but making costly rookie mistakes such as grabbing the cage, which is strictly forbidden. Rodriguez capitalized immediately, scoring an early takedown and dominating from top position with accurate ground, dash, and dash pound. YAW. I found himself trapped in full mount, absorbing punches and fighting to survive. The commentators highlighted the clear gap in experience, noting how Rodriguez was taking his time, controlling the action, and threatening with submissions. Still, Jawy refused to give up. Despite the punishment, he escaped difficult positions, resisted arm locks, and fought with intensity. His resilience was on full display. Though the judges awarded the first round to Rodriguez, fans and commentators alike recognized Méndez's courage. As the second round began, Rodriguez wasted no time bringing the fight back to the ground, where he continued his dominance. Méndez defended as best he could, but eventually, the referee stopped the bout due to a technical knockout. It was a tough loss, but one filled with important lessons and a performance that earned him respect rather than back down. Jawy returned for a second fight, this time against Venezuelan fighter Rafael Monterola. Had a longer reach and was making his own professional debut. From the start, this fight felt different. Jawy appeared more composed and confident, willing to engage smartly rather than with reckless abandon. A brief pause came after a low blow, but Monterola quickly resumed and the pace picked up again. Jawy took control when the fight hit the mat. Despite not having a full guard, he began landing effective elbows and punches from top position. He pinned Monterola against the cage, methodically wearing him down. The crowd could see the blood, though it was unclear who was cut. Regardless, Jawy was gaining momentum. Referee Chris Minoki urged both fighters to stay active, but Méndez listened and answered with increased volume and intensity. The round ended with Monterola visibly damaged and Jawy in full control. In the second round, Méndez exploded with sharp striking. He landed multiple clean shots followed by a brutal knee that visibly shook Monterola. Unlike his debut, this time, Jawy knew how to press the advantage. He took the fight back to the ground and unleashed a relentless ground and pound assault. Though tired, Méndez never stopped moving, punching, and pressing for the finish. He threw elbows, worked from multiple angles, and showed better fight IQ. Minoki watched closely and, seeing no effective defense from Monterola, stepped in to stop the fight. Jawy Méndez secured his first professional MMA victory via technical knockout at 3:59 of the second round. The transformation from his first to his second fight was significant. In his debut, Jawy looked like a raw, inexperienced fighter. In his second fight, he demonstrated growth, better pacing, smarter positioning, and sharper technique. The commentary team praised his performance and remarked that, with proper training, he has real potential in the sport. While Jawy Méndez now holds a record of 1 win and 1 loss, more importantly, he's shown a willingness to learn and the ability to evolve quickly. He's no longer just a social media personality testing the waters. He's a fighter earning his place in the cage. The difference this time wasn't just physical, it was mental. He stayed composed, listened to his corner, and executed a strategy. The biggest takeaway from both performances is that Jawy has something you can't teach in a gym. Heart. He refused to quit, even when overmatched. He bounced back stronger after defeat. That's what makes a real fighter. As his journey continues, the next challenge will be to show consistency, to prove that the win against Monterola wasn't a fluke, but the beginning of a new chapter. With continued training and discipline, Méndez has the tools to build a real career in MMA. For now, he's earned the respect of the fans, his coaches, and even his opponents. And most of all, he's earned another shot to show what he's made of. Following the victory over Monterola, the atmosphere in the arena was electric. It wasn't just the win itself that stirred the crowd, but the manner in which Méndez achieved it. His composure under pressure, his improvement in technique, and the fire in his approach left many spectators and analysts impressed. The journey from his tough debut loss to this dominant performance became a story of perseverance and grit. In MMA, it's easy to focus solely on records. One win, one loss. It's a simple stat, but within those numbers are stories of growth. Méndez, in less than 2 full fights worth of experience, demonstrated adaptability. He didn't just train harder, he trained smarter. He corrected some of the mistakes from his first fight, like keeping his hands up, managing his breathing, and controlling his output to avoid gassing out early. What also stood out in the second fight was Jawy's awareness inside the cage. Against Rodriguez, the pace and pressure overwhelmed him. He fought back purely on instinct. Against Monterola, he mixed his striking and grappling more thoughtfully. He didn't rush to finish, but waited for openings. When he got on top, he maintained balance and struck with purpose. He used elbows instead of wasting energy on wild punches. These adjustments are signs that he's learning not just to fight, but to fight like a professional. During the fight, the commentators often mentioned how Jawy was being coached actively from his corner. Unlike in his debut where he seemed consumed by adrenaline, this time he responded. He looked to his corner for advice, repositioned himself, and shifted his tactics in real time. That's not something all young fighters can do, especially under the pressure of live competition. It showed maturity beyond his limited experience. Monterola, for his part, was no pushover. He had the physical tools, height, reach, strength, and came prepared to make his own mark. Early on, he tried to maintain distance and pick his shots, but Jawy's aggression and pressure closed that gap. And once the fight hit the mat, Monterola began to struggle. Méndez used every ounce of control he had to keep the Venezuelan grounded, landing punishing strikes while staying out of danger. One of the most defining moments came midway through the second round. Méndez landed a clean right hand that shook Monterola visibly. The follow-up sequence, including a barrage of punches and elbows from top position, forced the referee to consider a stoppage. Even though Monterola showed heart, the damage began to pile up. Bloodied and unable to mount an effective defense, he was overwhelmed. Finally, Minoki stepped in, and the fight was called. Méndez let out a roar, not of arrogance, but of relief and triumph. It was a moment of redemption. After the win, there was no gloating. Méndez helped Monterola up, and the two showed mutual respect. That sportsmanship was a reflection of the maturity Méndez had developed over just 2 fights. He had been on the other side of a stoppage, battered and beaten, but he came back with humility and determination. In post-fight analysis, the commentary team praised Méndez for his evolution. They acknowledged that while he still has much to learn, especially in areas like submission, defense, and pacing, his improvement was undeniable. They emphasized how hard it is to bounce back after a tough debut loss, especially one where the fighter is physically dominated. Méndez didn't just return, he made a statement. Looking ahead, the path won't get easier. As Méndez's popularity and notoriety rise, so too will the quality of his opponents. Fighters will study his weaknesses and come in more prepared. The next step for him will be to build a well-rounded game. Continued work in jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and cardio conditioning will be crucial if he wants to compete at higher levels. But what he's proven already is that he's not just a celebrity stepping into the cage for spectacle. He's serious about the sport. The fans now see him not just as an influencer, but as a fighter with potential. He earned his first win the hard way, and it will serve as a strong foundation for the battles to come. With a 1-1 record and the backing of a growing fan base, Méndez has every reason to be proud, not just of a victory, but of how far he's come in such a short time. If he continues to grow at this pace, the MMA world may very well see him as a rising name to watch. His journey has only just begun, but it's already one full of heart, resilience, and the promise of something